Hey, what's up, everybody? Here we go again, episode 52 at Face Value. I'm Brian.
I'm Lucas.
And I'm Will.
So pumped to have you back again. Happy 1 year anniversary, Lucas. Where it all started.
That's right.
The little country lane townhomes, Victoria, Texas.
That's right, dude.
Look at where we are now.
It's crazy. The craziest thing is we've been consistent.
Yeah,
Like we've done it every week.
We haven't missed one yet.
Barring the one mishap thing.
Yeah.
Like we don't talk about it, but
Yeah, we apologize for that.
yeah, we missed 1 week because we had some technical difficulties. But we actually recorded a great podcast that day. So we actually did. But no, yeah, it's crazy. We kept up and still going, man.
Just look to get better every day. That's all we do. So,
Right.
So we appreciate all the people who have been following, listening every week. Even if you're just listening a little bit, I know everybody's got 100 podcasts that they're listening to, but we appreciate you sticking with us and following along. So we'll keep on rolling. So well, not a lot going on.
No.
We are officially in dead season. This time last year, we were able to talk about the Olympics and everything, so we still had a lot of stuff going on. So
That's right.
we're going to dabble into some college football a little bit today. And then starting next week is when we'll start actually doing like our conference breakdowns, everything like that. So we'll just continue to bring more content. But as we always do, we'll start with our hugs and hikes. So Will, you want to start off today? You got a hug?
I do have a hug. Everybody in life likes to find a little home away from home, somewhere that it isn't where they always have their roots, but it's a nice little getaway to have. So congrats to 41-year-old relief pitcher Jesse Chavez. He re-signed with his home away from home again today, his 7th stint with the Atlanta Braves.
Wow.
Dang.
7th stint.
Minor league contract or major?
Major league contract.
Wow.
Second stint this year. Made 2 appearances
This year?
Made 2 appearances earlier in the year. Didn't go so well. They let him go, and Braves brought him back. I mean, they're not doing so hot, so why not bring back a familiar face to finish out the season? So
Surely he has a house there.
I would think so. And I'm saying home away from home. Hell, he might live in Atlanta at this point, so it might actually be home. But
God.
7th stint with the Atlanta Braves. I don't know if that's a record. Feels like it's got to be.
I mean,
To
to get that many chances with one team, that
Yeah.
seems pretty unheard of.
And, if you go look at the stats, it doesn't add up to 7, but he's been released and re-signed that many times. This is officially his 7th stint with the Braves. So
He's a pitcher?
he's a pitcher, relief pitcher. Yeah, Jesse
Well,
Chavez.
I guess they replaced Neris with him.
It's true.
Because Neris is in his 3rd stint.
He's
with the
working on it.
Astros,
He's
so-
working on it. If we keep going with Hector here, Hector might find a way to get to 7. But yeah, Jesse Chavez back with the Braves.
Good for him. Good for him.
Yeah.
What about you, Lucas?
I got 2 hugs. So obviously, with things going down in Central Texas, I'm sure I didn't want to touch on it too much, but all the flood victims in Kerrville, just sad situation unfolding there. Just thoughts and prayers with all them. And then Diogo Jota's family too. Diogo Jota, he's a striker for Liverpool, or he was. He passed away in a car accident in Spain. Him and his brother, just sad, tragic accident, and thoughts and prayers to their family as well. So, just giving a lot of hugs to people who are mourning right now, and thoughts and prayers to all them.
Was he a player for Liverpool, like currently?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's what I
they just
thought.
won the league, man. He just got married 10 days ago.
Oh man.
Like, it's just awful stuff. He played for Wolverhampton, the Wolves, before going to Liverpool, which the U.S. just lost to Mexico, and Raul Jimenez, who scored one of the goals, he did a little tribute to him. They were teammates at Wolves.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just sad stuff all around, man. Just another reminder to live your life to the fullest, hug your loved ones, all that good stuff, man. Just thoughts and prayers to all of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, mine's not as sentimental, but
Yeah, it's fair.
she'll let you go last.
Yeah.
Or we should have started with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right.
No, I had a couple hugs as well. First hug I want to give to was Clayton Kershaw. Got selected for his 9th All-Star appearance by the commissioner as a legend pick. Hit his 3,000th strikeout this week. I mean, based on the trajectory of how starting pitching is nowadays, they're saying this may possibly be the last pitcher to ever hit 3,000 strikeouts. So, obviously, a big achievement for him. So, shout out, big hug to Clayton Kershaw. Like I said, if he didn't play for the Dodgers, I mean, I would root for him big time just because he's a class act, always has been. Yeah, good for him. And then kind of going off Will's home away from home, wanted to give a hug to our boy Jose Altuve, who his home away from home is in Dodger Stadium,
Yeah.
home of Clayton Kershaw, where he hit 3 home runs this weekend as the Astros completed their sweep of the Los Angeles Dodgers as they booed and yelled cheater during every single one of his at-bats. So it's always good to quiet a crowd like that and make your own noise. So
Agreed.
especially with all the fireworks that they made before the fireworks on Friday, tying their worst loss in history,
It's awesome.
tying their own record.
Dude, that was a beatdown.
It was
great.
awesome, dude.
I watched every second of it too. It was awesome.
5 home runs. It's absolutely just shellac. I think Walker hit 2 home runs this weekend,
Mhm.
so it was big time, man.
That's
So,
right.
big home series. So yeah, a couple hugs to those guys and hugs to everybody else. So let's go to our hikes. Lucas, you got a hike?
I actually got 2, and piggybacking on that, the Dodgers fans for booing. That was going to be one of mine. Get over it, man. Like it's been long enough. Jose Altuve's your daddy. Quit booing the guy. I mean, if you want to keep doing it, whatever. He's hitting well when you do it. The other Dodger that could take a hike is Oral Hershiser with his comments about us knowing what's coming, or the Astros knowing what's coming. Man, that's so overplayed. Like, just don't do that.
8 years later. 8 years.
Legitimately, it's been long enough. Just admit that you got destroyed. Like, that's what it comes down to. So, Oral, you can take a hike. Just a way too overused take at this point.
Absolutely. Will?
This person can take a hike, and not only can he take a hike, he should be charged with assault and honestly attempted murder. Anthony Volpe can take a hike for trying to kill Aaron Judge with a toss hit him right in the face. Right in the face.
I didn't see this.
You did not see this.
No.
It was between innings.
It was between innings. As you know, in baseball, you get the third out, you throw it around the horn, or the catcher throws it to third, and sometimes the third baseman will throw it to the outfielder coming in. Aaron Judge wasn't looking. Anthony Volpe took it upon himself to try to kill Aaron Judge.
God, I need to look this up.
Yeah, small cut below the eye. Lucky didn't break an orbital bone. The Yankees are already yanking and trying to make their season crater. And usually I like when bad things happen to the Yankees. Don't love the Yankees, not just because I'm an Astro, just because of the Yankees. Don't like them. But I do respect and enjoy what Aaron Judge is doing on a baseball field. Everybody should. It's very much not talked about because he plays for the Yankees.
Yep.
And he's healthy, and it's awesome to see what he's doing. Anthony Volpe got jealous and tried to rob us all from that with the beeline to Aaron Judge's face. And I think I think this should go to the Supreme Court. He should be tried at the highest level, and he can take a hike.
Commissioner might back you up on that, too.
He might. I mean, if we'd have lost Aaron Judge for 6 weeks because he threw a lazy little liner to his face, that would have been catastrophic for baseball. So, yeah.
I just watched it. Honestly, what great accuracy.
Honestly.
That's honestly kind of impressive. Because
Yeah.
that came from a distance. He lobbed that thing up, timed it perfect right in the judge's
I told you,
face.
it's attempted murder. Like that was probably, you can almost say first degree. It's not, because that was definitely premeditated to be able to hit it with that much accuracy. He's been
All right, here we go.
practicing.
That's impressive.
He's been practicing that throw. So, yeah, for attempted murder and trying to rob us because he's jealous of Aaron Judge, Anthony Volpe can take a hike.
I like it.
That's awesome, dude. And my hike kind of goes in the notes that we were talking about anyway, but old Dave Martinez and Mike Rizzo of the Nationals, they can officially take a hike.
They can literally take a hike.
They have been fired from the Nationals after a pretty catastrophic start to the season. NL East has been super competitive overall, but Nationals are now down to 37-53, 16 games out of first place. And so ever since their World Series win in 2019, it's all been downhill. So they officially said it's time to go. So take a hike, Dave Martinez.
Still can't believe we lost to that team.
I know.
Brutal.
One of the more unbelievable losses for sure.
Yeah.
I hate every time they bring up the batting lineup and starting rotation of that team just to like show, and I'm like, God, dude.
Yeah. It's rough.
Definitely up there is one of the best teams to not win a World Series,
Gotta be.
if not the best team to not win a World Series.
Absolutely has to be.
I would say probably, what was it, 2 years ago? The Dodgers were probably up there when they lost in the divisional round.
Was it
When they lost to the Padres,
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Was it the 01? Was it the 01 Yankees that lost to the Diamondbacks?
Diamondbacks, yes.
That was
That was up there.
That's brutal too.
Mm-hmm.
That was a brutal loss.
I'm going with that 0-1. I think, was it the Mariners? They had
Set the record.
set the record for wins.
In the same season, yeah. Yeah.
Didn't even make it to the World Series that year, so
Yeah.
it's crazy how things work out. But so that's our hugs and hikes. So all right, guys, appreciate everybody watching.
That's yeah.
We'll see y'all in August.
For week 0
yeah.
in Dublin.
Yeah.
But so I guess one of the first things we can start with is kind of the NBA. Just kind of go into a little bit, kind of just like a little thing. I know, Will, you said it's not as big a deal as what it's being hyped up to be, but it was historic because it was the first ever 7-team trade that happened with the NBA. It involved it was the Rockets, the Suns. I don't even remember who
The
all.
Lakers, Warriors, Timberwolves, Hawks, and Nets.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
7 teams. So only 5 players were dealt in the trade.
It was just picks galore.
Whole lot of second round. Well, technically it was picks dealt. Those picks contained players, so it ended up being more than 5 players. But 5 players actually traded teams, if that makes sense. A whole lot of second round picks, like I talked about last week. I think it was all just done for salary cap manipulation. So. Yeah.
So just to break down, the Rockets got Kevin Durant, Clint Capella. The Suns got Dylan Brooks, Jalen Green, and you're going to know all these names. Common Maluak, Daquan Plowden, Rasheer Fleming, Kobe Brea, and a second-round pick. All top-notch players. Hawks got David Roddy and a second-round pick and some cash. Brooklyn got 2 second-round picks. Golden State got Alex Tui and Jameer Mayshak. Lakers got Adu Thero, and Timberwolves got Rocco Zikarsky.
Rocco.
Rocco.
Yeah. Let's
2
just stick with
second-round picks
Rocco.
and some cash. So
Like I said, not a whole lot going on there. The whole thing there was the Kevin Durant to the Suns, and like I said, with us signing Dorian Finney-Smith and Clint Capella, one of them was gonna have to be a sign and trade. Ergo, where Clint Capella comes in there from the Hawks, and then everybody else was just moving things around to make either their numbers for their rosters work or salary cap situation. That's all this deal was. So, yeah, it looks like it's a major blockbuster type of deal with all these teams involved, but it's kind of just a formality. But yeah, historic 7 teams. I mean, that's almost a third of the league is involved in one trade. So
yeah, true. So, since the Rockets did the sign and trade, I guess what was the reasoning behind the Cam Whitmore trade?
playing time,
Gotcha.
which I don't love.
I know you were pretty high on Whitmore, so
I was high on giving Whitmore a chance.
yeah.
He turns 21 years old this week.
Hmm.
He's never gotten, because he's shown flashes, right? Like one game last year, he got to play 30-something minutes. He scored 34 points. Like he's got scoring ability. He was a very high prospect coming out of Villanova. Was going to be a lottery pick, probably a top 8 pick. Had an injury, fell to us into our lap at 20. And I was just, since we got him, this is a steal, but he could never find minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And that was going to be a problem again with the signings we made. So they kind of worked with Whitmore's camp, and he played at Villanova. He's from that area, so it's kind of a homecoming as well. But a little surprised it's Washington. Like, yeah, Washington stinks, but they actually have a lot of vets that they took on some salary for other teams that are going to command playing time. So unless one of those vets gets rerouted or they work out a buyout or something of that nature, to me, still going to have trouble finding minutes in Washington. But yeah, I won't say it's going to come back to bite us, because if he turns out to be good, you got to pay him. So
True.
you have that issue as well. But man, I think it's gonna be one of, he's either gonna be, it's kind of cliche to say he's gonna be really good, or he's gonna be like out of the league in 3 years. But he's just got really good flashes if he could ever get that consistent, and the age, on paper you would say that, hey, the Rockets are still young. We got a lot older. We got a lot older.
Average Jones.
Not even with KD, but I mean, you traded away a 22-year-old and a 28-year-old for a 37-year-old. Your two big signings are 31 and 32 respectively. Your core, if you want to say, of Sengun and Thompson are both 22, along with Jabari Smith Jr. They're all 22. And Reed Shepherd, who we still have, is 21. So, yeah, there's still some youth. But the other end, we have a ton of depth. It's still going to be a good team. I'm very excited. But for a team that last year had the second youngest top 7 players, we got a lot older. And when you're chasing the team in the Oklahoma City Thunder, defending champs, how many guys in the Thunder, like on the entire team, they have 15 players. How many of them do you think are over 30?
One.
I was gonna say like 3.
I kind of messed with you all there. They only have 2 players over 28.
None over 30?
They have 2 over 30, but they only have 2 over 28.
Wow.
Of their 8 most contributing players, Alex Caruso's 31.
I was gonna say, that's who I thought was over 30.
Nobody else is over 28.
Yeah.
Still, like right now. Like I was looking at it like, how much older the Rockets really get as compared to the Thunder, who are the youngest team in the NBA. I was pretty blown away when I actually went and looked at the ages of just how young they are. I was like, oh man, maybe we're not gonna kill this dynasty quite that fast.
It's a lot of guys you got to pay though. Like you said.
It's a lot of guys you got to pay, but I mean, they just gave Shea. Y'all see, he got the 4-year,
unbelievable
240 something, 245 or
280.
280. Okay,
Yeah, it's 281. I
yeah,
think.
it averages right at 70 mil a year.
Yeah.
Right, that's correct. 70 mil a year. Wow.
It's unbelievable, dude.
But yeah. But to start your question, yeah, the Cam Whitmore trade. That's gonna be one of those. In 3 years, you might be kicking yourself, but with the team we have constructed, he wasn't gonna find minutes. Now, in December, if we have 3 injuries, we're gonna be like, man, this really stinks. But it is what it is.
I also saw Durant didn't sign his extension before July 7th, so
So I had my dates mixed up. Today was the first day of the official 2025-2026 year. So this was the day for the trade, or yesterday, whatever it was, when the trade when the trade became official.
right.
So I don't know when the dates are for the extension, but there's 2 different thresholds. So we'll see what he does. But I'm optimistic he's not going to take the full amount. So
Can only hope.
I can only hope.
And then the other big NBA news: the Bucks cut Damian Lillard. So it's kind of surprising. He was kind of shocked by it, I think. And then it was kind of like, well, where do the Bucks go now? Because now Giannis obviously being up in the air, it's just kind of almost seems like at this point that the Bucks, well, you thought the Bucks were about ready to tear it down. Then they signed Miles Turner to a big contract. So I don't know, what does that kind of do for the Bucks?
Not a damn thing. not a thing. I mean, they lost Brook Lopez to the Clippers. Miles Turner is a younger Brook Lopez. Like
Yeah.
their numbers and what they do, like they're kind of a stretch 5. They play okay defense. Brook Lopez is probably a better passer, but in my opinion, he's literally just 5 or 6 years younger than Brook Lopez. But schematically and statistically, they're very similar players. So it doesn't do a whole lot for me. And them releasing Dame and stretching his contract out over the next 5 years, that's $22.5 million, I think, cap hit they're taking every year to not have a player.
Jeez.
So I was very surprised. I know they're trying to compete now, but I don't know what, I really don't know what this does. They made a couple of small moves. I think this is a reactionary move because of what the East is, because of the Halliburton injury, because they also already have the Dame injury, of course, but because of the Halliburton injury and because of the Celtics mini teardown and the Tatum injury, this was a reactive move of, hey, the East is winnable again next year. If everybody's healthy, I actually think Giannis is out of. I think the Bucks would do a complete teardown. If Dame's the only one injured and this other guy doesn't get injured,
Right.
they do a complete teardown. They trade Giannis and get probably one of the biggest hauls of all time, and they completely start a rebuild. But they're hanging on to the East right now just because I do think it is winnable.
Still potential to get.
Yeah,
it, for
I think
sure.
it's very gettable next year with those other teams going to be missing their star players. So, but it doesn't do a lot for me.
Yeah.
And everybody that talked about it, most everybody talked about it, most everything I read, everybody's about in the same boat. Like, this is gonna put them in cap hell in a few years, and this is a big swing for potentially a 1-year run at something that isn't a guarantee.
You just
so.
hope you get one more.
Yeah,
before
it's trying to prolong your time with Giannis, but I don't get the move. I don't think it does anything for them. Maybe they win the East, but you still have to beat the team from the West, which I don't think is going to happen anyway. So
True. Very true. So yeah, so that's the NBA, and then guess we'll transition over to the MLB. Just doing our weekly check-in. The Rockies are up to 21 wins. So
did they win today?
they did. Got a big series win against the White Sox, who they're slowly tracking down to pass for worst record in the league. So yeah, they're
Wait, so they won the series against the White Sox?
yeah, they won 2 out of 3.
So they won 3 games this week
Yeah.
because they beat the Astros.
No, they only won one of the 3 against the White Sox.
Did they?
Yeah, because I was following that series very close to see how bad this could get.
Because before the Astros series, they were at 19.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, you're
They beat
right.
us, made it to 20. So if they're at
No.
21, they must have only taken 1.
Yeah, Sox won the first 2.
Yeah, you're right.
Dang.
Yeah, they lost in extras, and then they lost 10-3 yesterday. So
So still tracking good.
I mean,
sort
yeah,
of. They're at 90 games, 21 wins,
so they're at like a win and a half. Like on average, they're averaging like a win and a half a week.
about a win and a half. Yeah.
That
So
doesn't
you're
bode
saying there's a chance.
I wonder how many times they played the Dodgers and the Padres, though, and the Giants.
Yeah, like you still have a lot of your
Yeah.
tough games coming up.
You would think. Because I guarantee you they're not facing the White Sox again.
No.
No, definitely not. So coming up, they got the Reds, Twins, Cardinals, Orioles, Guardians. That's the rest of their July.
Those are all winnable. There's some winnable games in there with those teams.
Pirates.
Winnable.
Very winnable.
Unless they're going against Skeens.
Still winnable.
I mean, true.
Yeah, they don't score runs.
They don't score runs for Paul.
They just got shut out in 3 games this weekend. Pirates did.
They didn't score a single
The
run.
Mariners shut them out for the entire weekend.
Wow.
Yeah. Then they got Blue Jays.
Who are hot.
Yeah.
George
Diamond-
Springer's on fire.
He is, yeah.
They don't play the Dodgers until August 18th.
That's crazy.
Then they play the Pirates again. Then the Astros again. Then the Cubs. Dude, then they're September Giants, Padres, Dodgers, Padres, Marlins, Angels, Mariners, Giants.
They might win 2 games in September.
That would be awesome.
Legitimately might win 2 games. Like whenever
Hey, they swept the Marlins before, so
That's true.
Oh, I forgot. I did kind of skim over the Marlins.
the Marlins
there.
are up to 3rd place though, so they're playing better ball now.
Yeah, the NL East is.
So they're gonna have to get
Rough.
some serious wins here in July, dude.
Yeah.
That's gonna be
or hopefully
great.
not.
Yeah. Following in September when we're hoping they lose 130 and you're just watching every Rockies game when they're sitting at 29 wins.
I think I'm gonna be pumped up about other things in September.
Hopefully.
But yes, I am gonna follow it, and I'm gonna be super pumped about it.
On the second screen, you'll have the Rockies going.
Yeah, I can't say I'm tuning in. Might buy the
I'll be
MLB.
score checking for sure.
Yeah, might buy MLB TV just for that.
Just to watch the Rockies. Oh man.
Now we mentioned it. The Blue Jays hot. The Yankees, man, they
Finally won today.
they did. They finally won
Broke a
today.
6-game losing streak.
Yep.
Second 6-game losing streak in 2 weeks or 3
Yeah,
weeks? In
it's-
the last 3
yeah.
weeks, maybe?
They've been playing rough.
Yeah, that lead's growing over there in Toronto.
Just like we thought.
Yeah, I picked the team that has an orange bird mascot. I meant
Yeah.
blue.
Yeah.
I meant a blue bird.
Blue Jays are on an 8-game winning streak right
Yeah,
now.
they're playing out of their minds right
9 out
now.
of 10.
But how long does that last? Who knows?
For sure.
But that whole division is it's not what we thought it was going to be for sure.
Not in the slightest.
We thought the Red Sox would be better. We thought the Orioles would be better.
The Yankees are finally doing what I predicted. I just thought the Orioles would be better than this, and the
Yeah.
Red Sox.
Yeah.
They're kind of crumbling, and
Yeah.
they would be in third if the other two teams weren't playing like
They still don't have any
doo-doo.
pitching either. A lot of their pitching staff is down,
Yeah.
and
It's rough.
but they're not the only team. That's the difference, right? You could talk about the Dodgers. Their whole pitching staff's pretty much down.
Talk about the Astros.
The Astros pitching staff is completely down. They're still winning. They're finding ways to win, and that's the difference.
Which is wild.
And it goes back to lineups in that sense, because obviously you have Aaron Judge with the Yankees, but after that, there's a lot of K's in that lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Their next best hitter right now is it Jazz Chisholm?
Probably.
I would say so.
Because I don't think Goldschmidt is doing near what he was.
He's fell off.
He's fell off a lot,
Bellinger's hanging on. I think he's hitting like
Goldschmidt's-
270.
Goldschmidt's still hitting 284.
which is great.
Bellinger's hitting 272. I don't even see Chisholm on here. Oh, Chisholm's hitting 245. Sorry,
Oh, wow.
He made the All-Star team, so I assumed he was doing better. But
he's just a popular guy.
yeah,
Yeah, and then you go down with Volpe and some of those other guys. Just it doesn't look great, but we'll see. Some of the people the Astros are throwing out there, I
Ryan Gusto
Short.
today throws a one-run game against the Dodgers, or the best team, or one of the
Crazy.
best teams in the league
at Dodger Stadium.
in Dodger Stadium.
unreal.
I mean, they threw 2 of their rookies this weekend and won all 3 games.
Yeah, it's and
The most runs they gave up was yesterday with Framber.
Fromber.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just gonna say the one guy you would think
And we actually scored some runs for him.
we did.
Finally.
That 11 in a row now. We've won 11 straight Framber
I thought it was
starts?
12.
Is it
I
12?
think it might be up to 12 now. After yesterday.
I heard too when I was watching that they said that the Mariners have not gained a game on the Astros since June 8th.
And the Mariners haven't been playing terrible.
Not at
No.
all.
It's just that when the Astros win, the Mariners either win or lose, and then when the Astros lose, the Mariners lose.
Yeah.
It's just the way it works out. So
I was
I
gonna
think what's
7.
Seven
Seven
I
right
thought it was
now.
7 or 7.5.
10 and a half on the Rangers. 10 on the Rangers.
10.5 right now, depending on how tonight goes.
Yeah.
Could be 10, could be 11.
I like it.
Yeah, I was gonna pose this question. Is it officially time to like really be all in on this team? Like, is this a legitimate World Series team? Because we're almost at the All-Star break. We're looking at the second best record in the American League, third best record in baseball,
Mhm.
and we're doing this with absolutely nothing. Like, is this sustainable, and is this a World Series team? Because on paper, it's not even a division champion. So, like, is it worth us at this stage already getting excited?
Well, that's
Too
like-
excited?
That's why I'm hesitant to get excited.
Yeah.
That's why I'm hesitant to get excited, because whenever the guys come back, they're going to have to work their way back.
Correct.
They're not just going to go in there and light it up. Like Jordan, who knows? He could come in there and just rip the cover off the baseball. But I think he's going to take some ramp time to get back into the groove of things.
Especially the way he was hitting before his injury.
Agreed. And who knows how much something was lingering at that point, too.
For sure.
With the way his knees are and everything, you know. But same thing on the pitching staff. You're going to have some time for those guys to get kind of back into the groove of pitching every 5 days. I guess, shoot, they might be able to pitch every 7 days the way the rotation shakes out. But
You potentially have 3 starters coming back after the All-Star break.
Yeah.
And Javier, Luis Garcia, who hadn't pitched in over a year, and then Spencer Arrighetti is supposed to come back as well. So
And then, obviously, this weekend and this whole road trip that the Astros just went on, we were without Pena, which came out today. There's a chance he could come back from the All-Star before the All-Star break, but I wouldn't
I
force
see
that
no
issue.
reason to.
There's no reason to push that.
yeah, for sure.
So the troops are coming, but I just don't know.
I guess that's what makes me excited. 'Cause to your point, they may not come back and light it up, but we know what they are capable of. And, like,
Yeah.
we're doing this with not even close to our best.
So obviously, after this weekend, watching them do that against the Dodgers,
It's not even, to me, it goes back a couple weeks. Like, we were at home, but we swept the Phillies and then took 2 out of
Yeah.
3 from the Cubs. Like,
for sure. But what I was going to say is my hesitation is the pitching staff is doing what they're doing. Is that sustainable over a course of 162 games and then going into the playoffs?
outside of Framber and Hunter.
Yes, and the reason I say that is because the lineup is so hit or miss. There's games where we're scoring 1 or 2 runs, winning because the pitching staff is lights out. How sustainable is that? And all these 1-run games. That's why I said this weekend against the Dodgers, the lineup went off. Obviously, 18 runs in a game. That's crazy. You don't want to expect that every game. But even still, they scored, what, 7?
18, 6, and 5,
18,
right?
6, and
6. It was
yeah.
6. So they're putting up runs against the Dodgers. But granted, the Dodgers, they also don't have a starting staff either. Otani, the first 2 innings, looked dominant. If he goes the full game, he might throw up a
Yeah, you
complete
never
game.
know, yeah.
And that's my reservation is the lineup. How is the lineup going to do if the pitching staff takes a step back?
Especially like in October when you're facing everybody's best
Yeah.
day in and day out. Like, you're not getting these guys that we're seeing in the regular season.
No.
So
Like
Well,
the
and-
dude who gave up 10 earned runs
Yeah.
against for the Dodgers. Like, you're not going to see that guy in October if we're in a World Series against him.
On the other side of it, though, like, one of my biggest hesitations a couple weeks ago was, like, the 1-run games. Like, it's 2-0, it's 1-0, and then we're getting blown out.
Yeah.
But then, like, the last 3 series, they've been scoring runs.
The
Like,
bats.
over the last 9 games, like, they've scored runs consistently. And so I think that makes me a little more optimistic, because if it was like, hey, we're losing 7-1, but we're winning 1-0, 2-1, like, that's when it's like, okay, then you're like, okay, now the pitching,
Yeah.
like, better stay consistent. But now that they're finally scoring runs, you just hope that it stays like that. And then especially when it goes over past the All-Star break, because, you know, sometimes you have that lull. It's like, oh, well, we were playing so well. Then you have that 4 days off or whatever it is, and then you're having to come back, and it's like, can you stay on that heater?
And that's why I said that the series against the Dodgers is what kind of gives me a little bit of hope, because we were actually swinging the bat well, putting good swings on balls, that kind of thing. Also, did they say what happened to Jake?
I haven't seen.
Yeah, so he got hurt today too, which would be awful.
he's having the best season of his career.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's always been a good defender, but hitting wise, this has
Yeah.
been a blessing to see him
And so
finally hit some baseballs.
if there's an issue there, that's not good either. But I'm cautiously optimistic
I'd
for the playoffs.
I'd put myself in that same category, but this was the first week where the thought crossed my mind, like,
Yeah.
dang, this team might actually be able to do it. And but the biggest thing to me is we have to finish top 2 in the AL. We got to avoid that stupid 3-game series.
Absolutely.
You have to get to the 5-game.
One of the things that I think also goes to the cautiously optimistic side of it, if the teams are evenly matched, like say we go into a playoff series against the Tigers or I don't know, even the Yankees are a little battle tested, but the mentality of our veterans in the clubhouse, how many games in the playoffs have they played? Your Altuves, your Jordans. I mean, Yainer Diaz, Jeremy Pena even, you know. They played a lot of games in the playoffs, so that having a slow heartbeat in the box, taking it pitch by pitch is a huge thing when it comes to the playoffs where there's high stress, high pressure during the runs. But I don't know. It remains to be seen. I'm still kind of hesitant a little bit. I want to see kind of how the lineup shakes out down the stretch.
For sure.
Because I feel like that's another thing the Astros do every year too. Right before the playoffs start, they start losing games and
Yeah, about
losing series
August, yeah.
in August, and you're just like, dang, man. Like I think it was in 2022. Was it 2022? They dropped like a series to the A's and then the Diamondbacks, and you're just like, what's going on?
Well, that was the year where, like, because that's the year they won the World Series, and that's where they were losing series to bad teams.
Yeah, that's
Like,
what
I
I'm
think
saying.
they lost like the season series to the A's that year.
Yeah.
Like, it was,
But then they went in the playoffs and didn't lose to the World Series.
yeah,
Exactly,
They
and
swept
and
everything,
that's so I'm expecting that because I feel like it happens every year when they make the playoffs.
well, and
They-
that's why that's why I think the pitching staff's going to stay consistent. Like, are they going to give up 0, 1, 2 runs every game? No, obviously not. But I think just based on like the historically how they've been the past 8 years, I think the pitching's going to be there. It's just like you said, is the offense going to match it?
yeah,
And I don't think the NL is in a position it was 3 years ago in 2022, where like just your pitching is going to win you a World Series. Like, you're going to have to generate some offense. Because I remember against that series against the Phillies, it was like, I mean, it was the Phillies, but it was like the pitching's going to be fine. Like you never felt like the Astros were going to lose that series, just because like they were hot throughout, but they didn't have like the ability to push all the way through. So
yeah,
Well, and then along with the pitching, it's more of the mentality of how managers manage games as well. But like, you don't have a guy that's going to go out there and probably give you 8 innings in the postseason. Like, you're going to have to rely on that bullpen, and we can't just push the Abreu hater button for 6 times in a 7-game series. Like that.
because that's what happened in 2019.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's it, you can't expect to do that. And gone are the days. I mean, Hunter Brown's been fantastic. He doesn't make it past 6 very often.
No.
Like he throws a lot of pitches. Framber's the one guy that on any given night he could throw a complete game. If
Right.
he's got his A game, he could give you a complete game. But these guys come back from injury. You're not expecting them to go 7 or 8. So you're gonna have to rely on that bullpen.
but with the amount of people coming back from injury, like your Christian Javier's, he might have a role out of the bullpen now, which it wouldn't be a bad thing because in the playoffs you're not going to run a 6-man rotation. Shoot, you're not even going to run a 5-man
Yeah,
rotation.
you run a 4-man.
He was great out of the bullpen, like when he first came up.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And so
And there's McCullers too. That more than likely he would.
push to the pen.
Ideally, he would transition to the bullpen.
I mean, he looked great against the Dodgers.
yeah.
He also got smashed at his last start on the mound.
It's like what I said,
Absolutely,
dude. You just
yeah.
gotta let him have his one bad start after the injury,
Have
and
a
then,
few good
and then
ones.
he'll be good.
Yeah.
Until he gets hurt again. Jake
So-
Myers was a calf tightness.
Oh,
They said it was precautionary to take him out.
I'll take that.
That's good.
So hopefully
Give him a
he'll
few
be
days
good.
off.
Give him a few days. So,
Yeah.
speaking of the All-Star break, the All-Star teams have been determined. So, y'all have any initial thoughts on what y'all think, or
I think nothing because I didn't see it.
like the AL starters? It was Cal Riley.
Which is
Absolutely deserving.
Yeah,
unbelievably deserving. They need to test that guy though.
for sure.
At some point, somebody needs to sneak a
Oh yeah.
random drug test on that guy.
He's probably already had like 7 this year.
Probably.
So yeah, it's Cal Riley, Ryan O'Hearn, Vlad Guerrero, Gleyber Torres, Jose Ramirez, Jacob Wilson, Aaron Judge, Riley Green, and Javier Baez are the starters for the AL.
AL.
I mean, there's a couple quips. It's fan voting. I mean, Jacob Wilson, great story. Rookie, shortstop, batting really well. Jeremy Pena's been the best shortstop in baseball this year. I don't think there's an argument there. And that's not me being Astros biased. He is having the best shortstop in both leagues this year.
See, the biggest thing with Pena is like he quietly has great seasons. Like,
Yeah,
he's
but like-
never really like in the media. Like, man, like look at what he's been doing.
But he's a Gold Glove winner. He's
Yeah.
having his best batting season by far, and I mean it's kind of a moot point because he's probably not going to play anyway
Yeah.
because he's going to be injured. So I'm probably arguing it, but he deserved to get the nod as an All-Star starter. I think nothing against Jacob Wilson having a great year, but I just thought that one, and then I mean there's a couple and you can argue back and forth, but that was the main one to me. It's like that was a little bit of a stretch maybe, but.
I'm just trying to look at Gleyber Torres because that like
Is that just because he plays? Where does he play? Is he with the Tigers?
I believe so.
Yeah, because he doesn't play for.
I know he's not with
He's
the
not in New
Yankees.
York anymore.
I think he's for the Tigers, right? So is this just a product of best team gets more guys in?
Hitting 280. He's got a
It's
2.2 WAR.
Does he play second?
Second, yeah.
Yeah, second AL second baseman this year are not very good.
No,
So that makes sense as to why he would have got that nod.
makes sense why they're trying to move Altuve to left because not a great second baseman.
Yeah, no, there's
I mean, he never really has been. I mean, he's always been a great hitter.
How many won a Gold Glove?
Yeah, but I feel like historically, like he's had some.
I just feel like he gets. I feel like he gets dinged a lot for his range. He doesn't. He's not as rangy as some other second basemen are.
Well, when
but-
you're missing 6 inches, I mean, like
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
yeah.
But I think his fielding percentage, his career fielding percentage, isn't awful.
yeah, true.
Which you would expect it not to be at second,
Oh yeah.
but I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see. So, and then on the NL, it's Will Smith coming out of his rap career to be a catcher. Otani, Freeman, Ketel Marte, Manny Machado, Lindor, Pete Crow Armstrong, Kyle Tucker, and then Acuna. So,
Just
Yeah,
a bunch of big names.
it's big name.
It's the big names.
It's fan vote because I mean, like Acuna, the game's in Atlanta, correct? So
yeah,
they're getting in a Brave there.
gotta get one.
His first game was until May 23rd, though. So it's like
Yeah.
I mean but he's been on fire since he came back. But
Mhm.
he's only played like a month and a week, so I don't know. And then who was the other one I had on the NL that was? Oh, it wasn't really a quip because he hasn't had that great of a season. But first All-Star game Mookie Betts has not made since 2016.
Wow.
He didn't make it at all.
Didn't make it at all.
Wow.
First time. He's having. I mean, for him, not
A down
not
year.
a down year, but yeah, pretty impressive. 8 straight All-Star games. So first one Mookie Betts is not
It's
in.
kind of crazy.
And the $770 million man did not make it either. Juan Soto's not in the All-Star game.
Wow.
It's because none of the New York Yankees voted for him.
Yeah,
Legitimately.
true. Yeah. I mean, there's some guys that don't make it every year because of MLB's rule that every team has to have a representative. So
Yeah.
there's going to be possibly some snubs if you want to call them that. But
I'm gonna go ahead and guess Paul Skeens made it from the Pirates.
Paul Skeens made it on the Pirates.
Yeah.
I'm guessing nobody else did.
No.
Oh, let's talk about our team we're following. Who's the Rockies representative?
The Rockies, Hunter Goodman, their catcher.
Absolutely. Old Hunter.
Of course, you remember Hunter.
Yep.
Yeah.
He is hitting
Just for
281.
just for all the podcast listeners, Brian, go ahead and tell us about Hunter Goodman.
Hunter Goodman, he is a catcher.
Because you know about him, and I know about him.
I know all
but,
about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a catcher that plays for the Colorado Rockies. So,
Nice.
you know Hunter.
We all know Hunter. They don't know Hunter, though, so I just wanted to make sure all the listeners were caught up on Hunter. The A's got 2 people.
Who was their other one?
Brent Rooker, filling in at DH since Jordan didn't play this year. So they had to find some more AL DHs.
So who? So it's probably Paul Skeens for sure. Is your NL
Skubal.
starter, and then probably Scuball. I mean,
Most of it.
I mean,
Well, that's just going to depend on how the other rotations finish out.
True.
That always has
that is
a-
one thing they said too.
Yeah, just depends.
Because I think they said that Hunter Brown would potentially pitch Saturday,
And
I
the game's
think-
on Tuesday.
and then they play Tuesday, so he'd be out.
Aaron Boone will probably start him.
Sabotage.
Yeah.
I don't know when Max Fried pitches for the Yankees. He's had a quietly really good season.
He was a Cy Young front runner for a while.
Yeah, he's got 10 wins. Had a below 2 ERA. I think he got touched up a bit in his last start for about 5 or 6 runs, so that put a little damper on the ERA. But still a very good season so far. Top 5 in strikeouts, I believe. So he'd be an option.
I mean, just Hunter Brown, Jacob DeGrom, Max Fried, Terry Scuball. I mean, you got some solid
Yeah.
AL pitchers for sure. I mean, there's some other ones, but like NL, Paul Skeens, Chris Sale, Robbie Ray, Kershaw, Logan Webb, Zach Wheeler,
That-
Yamamoto.
That
Give me
sh-
the AL.
I was gonna say, That should tell you the state of the NL
Just
pitching.
the age
With
of all the
exactly where, like the guys that are dominating that one. That's crazy.
Yeah, give me the AL roster.
Remarkable turnaround for Chris Sale.
Honestly,
I think
yeah.
we've talked about
yeah.
it before, but just remarkable turnaround.
Try to get him out of
It's what you were
Beantown.
hoping that Verlander would do, coming back from a big
Yeah.
injury, hoping he would be able to go, but just never found it.
Mm-mm.
I still don't think he has a win with the Giants.
Really?
He does not.
He has like a 4.3 ERA or something.
Well, I mean,
but-
he did come back after he won a Cy Young after the Tommy John,
Yeah.
and then just
True.
completely
I mean, he
disappeared.
fell off. But he had that other injury, wasn't it? Didn't he have something else
Which time?
after the?
I know.
yeah.
He's been nothing
Oh.
but injured after the Cy Young season. He's been
Yeah.
nothing but
Yeah.
injured. I mean, he's also 94 years old, so that does make I think he was really trying to talking about like Clayton being probably the last 3,000 strikeout pitcher. I think Verlander was really going to try to make it go to be the last because I don't think anybody's ever winning 300 again.
No.
I think he's probably has the last chance, unless I don't know where Max Scherzer is, but he's probably somewhere.
I don't think
around-
Max Scherzer's that close.
Is he close?
I
Not
don't
close.
think so.
So yeah, I would
'Cause
say
I think Max Scherzer's sample size is a lot smaller because he didn't really come on till
later with
Yeah.
Detroit
it was like later with Detroit and then he's
because he was with
since then.
Arizona first, huh?
I think so.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Verlander's not getting there, so we can squash that bug.
So yeah, so that's our All-Star bracket. So
Yeah.
should be a good one. Usually is.
They are going back to the team jerseys. I don't know if y'all knew that.
Yeah, I saw that, which I'm happy about.
I am too.
I don't like. Usually they come with these crap designs anyway.
Yeah.
So
Are they? Have they announced who's all competing in the home run derby yet?
no,
Not
it'll
yet.
probably be later this week.
Only three.
Pete Alonso for sure.
He hasn't come out yet. The only three that have committed publicly are Acuna.
Acuna, just because it's in Atlanta.
Yeah, Cal Raleigh, and
Julio gonna do it again?
no, James Wood from the Nationals.
The actor.
That's James Woods.
Oh. With Steven
I know
Tyler.
people are confused pretty often.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
So yeah,
Jordan's gonna come back for it.
I wish he would, dude. Like not this year, but I wish he would do the home run derby though. It's kind of like when Barry Bonds would never do it. I was like,
Yeah.
God, just do it once, dude. Like just
Yeah.
crush homers.
That would be awesome.
But I don't know. So yeah, so that's baseball. So, and then went with a little college football. So first one, the big news was with Texas Tech. Texas
Oh, yeah?
Tech's over there spending some money. So Felix, is it Ojo or Ojo?
No idea.
Felix.
We'll go with Ojo. Felix goes to Texas Tech, gets a 3-year, $5.1 million contract,
Guaranteed.
guaranteed.
That's the key. That's the kicker. There's guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
After originally Texas Tech was not even in his. I mean, I guess it was a
I think
consideration,
it was a big.
but
I think it was a big Texas lean.
Yeah,
He was a big Texas
was it
lane.
a week or 2 weeks ago? He released his top four. Tech was not in it,
Yeah.
and lo and behold, they drop a bag.
But now that we're July 1st was the turn of rev share now.
Mhm.
So I don't know, do y'all know? Have y'all looked into that at all?
I haven't
So
looked into
so pretty much athletic departments. That's the entire athletic department. So now the schools are going to be paying student athletes
right.
across the board, the whole athletic program, and you have $20.5 million per school to divvy out to your entire athletic program.
That's all sports.
All sports. And so at $20.5 million, if they're giving him what's that, $2 million a year or 1 point something,
1.7.
I mean,
at 1.7.
Yeah.
that's a big chunk of that $20.5 million, and that's not including the other sports.
Right.
That's a bold move on their part. That's a bold move for a kid who hasn't played a snap in college football. That's crazy to me. So LSU, again, on this podcast, I reference LSU a lot because that's what I listened about. That's what I listened to. So LSU's pretty much come out and said that they're divvying out 75% of the $20.5 million to football.
Mm-hmm.
So 75% of that $20.5 million, whatever that number is, I'm not good at math, is going to the football program. The rest is divvied out to
15.
all other sports. Yeah, right around 15. a little over 15, I guess.
Yeah.
All the rest is going to the other sports, and I think LSU's already come out and said like 5% is going to men's basketball. So now you're left with what, 80%. I think women's basketball is getting 2%. So you're only dealing like you only have $2 million per sport to work with to pay these players. And I put it on the rundown. But LSU, like a lot of fans are up in arms because LSU's announced that they're going to put like advertisement patches on their jerseys.
Yeah.
Because these schools now have to find other ways to build revenue to add $20.5 million to their books that they have to
Exactly.
pay these
Yeah.
athletes for. So Texas State naming rights to the field, that's huge.
Yeah, for sure.
You're going to start seeing that, I think, a lot more. So you're going to see Tony Shashery Tiger Stadium, Raising Cane Stadium. Like, that's going to be a thing because they're going to have to find these creative ways to make this money. Like, last year, LSU ran at an $800,000 deficit in their
Wow.
athletic program between all sports.
That's crazy.
Their total income or revenue was like $200-something million, but they still were at a loss. And so they were at an $800,000 deficit. Now you have to add $20.5 million to that.
Yeah. Figure that out.
And LSU is probably one of the. It's not the only school in the country that's close to breaking even, but there can't be many schools
Yeah, I think most schools are like
in the red.
yeah, they're in the red.
Way more than LSU.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be very difficult. But Tech doing that, I feel like that's putting themselves in a huge hole.
Yeah, right off the bat.
Especially considering from what I've read about him, what scouts are saying is that he's only rated this high in all the recruiting stuff because of his potential. Like, he's not going to be able to come in and plug and play starter like day one. Like, he's raw.
Yeah.
And you're committing this amount of money to a kid that isn't. I mean, you paid him money to start for all 3 years every single game, and
has to
he has
start.
the raw because he's what 6'7", 6'8",
Yeah, like
300 pounds. Like
Yeah.
he's got the intangibles there to just do something. But if you can't teach him the footwork and everything else, like, I don't know. Yeah, I agree. It's a lot of money for an unproven player.
'Cause that's just one piece too. Like, obviously the offensive
You got
line's
four of the
a big
linemen.
part, but yeah, you got four of the linemen. You got an entire backfield. You got your
quarterback.
receivers. Yeah, you need like a quarterback is a big part. Like, if you're paying your starting tackle $1.7 million, what are you going to pay your quarterback? Your receivers.
And if they use the 75% rule like LSU is, your other 14 million you have to divvy out now
Yeah.
to everybody else. And there's going to be a minimum that every person is going to want. You know what I mean? Which is crazy. Like if you're on the team, you're going to want 100,000. Let's say
Yeah.
there's a 56-man roster, at least 80.
It's 80 to 9. Oh, scholarship
Well,
players is what?
Yeah, I mean, I guess
70 something.
I think so, yeah.
I think it just went up.
Did it go?
I think it just went up, but
Like, they carry like 90 players on the team.
yeah. So that's just very interesting to me. But that's not taking away there's still going to be NIL opportunities for sure. But now it's going to be audited by Deloitte.
And I guess what they're figuring too is your quarterback, your skill positions are going to get those higher NIL deals. So they're going to take less from the school.
Well, this isn't or you would think, but and that's where this is going to get really messy is the first NIL deal that gets denied by Deloitte is a straight lawsuit.
Yeah.
100%. Because how do you determine market value for these things?
You don't, and I think that's the whole key to this.
Agreed. Like, if some billionaire wants to pay $5 million to a kid to do a commercial, like, that's market value. That's what he decided to pay.
Yeah.
He thought that person's worth that much to do the commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how do you combat that?
Because
Exactly.
you can't 100% objectively define that cost. you could use other similar things, but they're not 100% alike. So I think that's what they're gonna try to do is just pair like items, but it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be the Wild Wild West. It'll still be the Wild West.
And like you said, it's just more
It took off
lawsuits.
one
just
wild.
more and more lawsuits just gonna be coming constantly, just one after another.
So many. Which, again, at some point, there'll just be like an arbiter that goes in there and be like, this is what it's actually worth. This is what we're going to give you, whatever.
And that's almost what you have to do. This
But
is
there's
what we
no
wanna-
union. That's the problem.
That's what I'm saying. But like that's the closest what you're gonna get. So pretty much what we're gonna be dealing with. This is gonna be the next 3 years. Is how we're gonna be dealing with this. Is they're gonna try, and then there's gonna be lawsuits, and then eventually when these conferences break off, create their own stuff, then they will probably change the system to where you have something like that. But
At some point, and I think that's probably where the Big Ten and SEC are coming in and being like, look, there's got to be a salary cap. There's got to be something to where we can control this a little bit more structurally.
for sure,
Because right now, there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing going on right now.
yeah, it's just everybody just throwing their numbers out there.
It sounds like Tech's going to be in cap hell.
Well, and like so too, like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
softball pitcher, she made $1 million. Like, are they gonna give her another huge contract, or like how's that gonna work?
She's already
So-
signed it.
Yeah. So, but is that from the school, or is that from like the NIL?
True. I'm not sure which
And
one
see,
that was.
and is what I don't know.
That also happened pre the.
Exactly. If it was pre-January, I keep saying January, July 1st, I don't know what those deals, what happens. Because the same thing happened with Bryce Underwood going to Michigan.
Yeah.
So I would assume that those contracts are verbal agreements or whatever they are valid, I would say. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Surely they're all grandfathered in. It's not like, oh no,
Yeah.
we have to reevaluate all.
Which is
this.
why I think all these collectives were just going out and spending
Yeah.
like crazy
Because
amounts
they
of
knew
money.
this was coming, so it's like let's get it all in now, and then.
Because they would have been just stuck with a pile of cash in a bank account that they couldn't do anything with.
Yep. Oof.
Yeah. It's madness, man. I would not want to be a GM of a school. Because that's what they have now. Like, each school has pretty much a GM
Yeah.
that's running on the show and looking at finances and everything. It's crazy.
I think Andrew Luck actually just resigned from Stanford. He was the GM.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Probably too much
lasted,
crap.
That lasted all of 2.5 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Didn't
just
even
went
make
in
didn't even make a one full. Didn't even make a college football season.
yeah.
Yeah.
It just went in effect a few days ago.
Yeah. I could be wrong. I thought I read that somewhere, but
I don't blame the guy. He has plenty of money. He doesn't need to do that.
I thought a lot of these people that were becoming GMs though was more for like name recognition and crap. They weren't really going to be doing all the actual GM duties, if that
No,
makes sense.
LSU hired a guy to do the GM
That's what I'm
duties.
saying.
Yeah.
But I'm like, some of these people that have been hired as GMs,
They didn't know what it would entail.
no, I think it was just a sideshow deal, like to have the name recognition. Like they were given the title, but he had other people really doing the GM stuff, if that makes
yeah.
sense. Like Andrew Luck was not hired to
Oh,
go
you-
be a GM.
You mean in his situation?
Yes.
Okay.
he did not resign.
Isn't Shaq?
didn't.
Isn't Shaq like the GM of Sacramento State or some crap?
I have no idea.
Shaq's a GM or
he
something.
is.
He's a
He has
GM of
some
one and
kind
two.
of-
Really.
Like, Shaq's not going to do the GM duties. It's a name recognition thing.
Speaking of Sac State, they just got a 5-star wide receiver to commit to Sac State.
How?
Legitimately.
Shaquille O'Neal's a GM.
I mean,
Yeah.
there must have been some money
Is
that was
Deion
available.
going to Sacramento State now, or what? Like,
Let me look it up. Hang
Yeah.
on.
Sacramento State. Now that you say that, I think I did see something about that.
I did not.
Xavier McDonald picked the Hornets over multiple SEC schools.
Is he trying to be the next Travis Hunter or what?
I have no idea. And so he beat out Ole Miss, LSU, and North Carolina.
Wow.
Sac State. That's who he picked him over. And the whole Bryce Underwood saga, it has me like right now with all the kids committing and all this stuff. Until the paper's signed, I don't take any of it to.
Yeah.
That kid could get a bag somewhere else and gone. He's not going to be at Sac State.
Well, that's what I was gonna say too. Though, could it be like he was getting lower offers? So, okay, I'll go to Sacramento State, absolutely dominate over there, and then transfer and get like a huge payday from another school.
That could absolutely be
'Cause that's almost like what you're
on
thinking.
the cards. For
Kinda,
sure.
It's kind of like going to like a junior college, like just playing, balling out, and then getting an offer somewhere. Like,
Yeah,
same kind of thing. So
that's a good point for sure.
it'd be kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So did they say what logo LSU's going to do?
No, and I think it has to be approved. It still hasn't been approved, but there were a lot of talks this week, and fans were absolutely outraged about it. Like as
I mean, it's
A
gonna
and
be- It's
M,
gonna be a little
I-
patch, like
I hate it.
I don't.
I understand the business side. I understand the reasoning. I understand all that. I don't like it, and like I don't like it in any sport. I get it. I
it's-
get it.
It's
I
better
just
than
don't
soccer, who has literally. The
If we get
logo
to
that
that,
is there.
you will see me flip my lid. I will lose my absolute crap if we get to that.
okay, if that's what it takes to put a roster on the field to win the Aggies a national championship, would you say, nah, I don't want it?
We don't need it.
Obviously, you do.
We have the money, but the money's not been the problem. We just don't have the talent and the coaching and everything else. Money's not a problem at A&M.
Do you think A&M, their financials, just their athletic department, do you think, I don't know, do you think they ran it in the red or in the green last year?
The department itself is probably in the red, but like money's not a problem at A&M.
Yeah.
We've divvied out plenty of money. They just don't pan out, or our coaches just stink, or we're just cursed.
Yeah.
A&M Athletics made 22.7 in net revenue in 2024.
In all of sports.
Yeah,
Really?
23 million excess revenue.
Dang. but that's not from boosters or anything.
No, that's what Texas
The athletic
A&M
department made.
That's what athletic department. They were in a surplus of 23 million.
Dang.
We still suck.
Yeah. Imagine if you win.
We'll get into that. Yeah, we'll get into that.
No,
later
no.
on.
For me, like, it's of the case of if that's what it takes to get good players to come to the school to raise the funds to be able to pay for it, I don't care. I really don't care. Obviously, I'd love a clean logo or a clean jersey, clean whatever. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. The guy I listened to, he made a really, really, really good comparison. When LSU won the national championship for the first time in 50 years in 2003, you see all the pictures of the LSU, like holding the crystal ball, the jerseys. On the jersey is a huge Nokia logo because it's the Nokia Sugar Bowl. Nobody looks back on that and be like, man, I hate that patch on there.
Yeah,
Nokia's on there. You know what I mean? Like, nobody cares. They're still going to, as soon as the ball gets kicked off, you're going to watch it. It doesn't matter if there's a logo. That's me personally. And if that's what it takes to get a winning team on the field, NASCAR that shit.
for sure. I wish they would have let Oklahoma State do the QR codes. That would have been funny. that was great.
I understand tradition. There's a lot of people that don't like it for sure. In a perfect world, I would love to not have that either. But I'd rather my team win.
Dude, just the big old Dixie Chicken logo, just right there on the
That
left
would
shoulder.
that would honestly kind of slap.
At least that would be like something that's tied. to
Lanes.
something that's tied to that area. That would okay. I could get behind something like that.
And that's probably
but
what it's going to be. Like, LSU will probably get Raising Cane's or Tony Cheshire. Something like that, I would think.
Let's hope so. Let's hope it stays tied. Not
A&M
like,
can get like a Bluebell or something.
Yeah,
Brenham's not
absolutely.
that far away. So.
we'll see.
Yeah, Bluebell Park. There you go.
That would
Yep.
look-
That goes into that $23 million of surplus because Bluebell pays A&M to have their name on there.
rights.
Like Alex Box doesn't have that. LSU's stadiums don't have that
Right.
yet.
Yet.
It's coming.
Oh, for sure. To make it the money.
Absolutely.
A lot of ifs and whens and whats and who's and
We'll see.
hows and all that. So I figure we can end the show. We kind of talked about it. We're gonna do our there's always kind of the debate who has the best stadium in college football.
Well, loudest and toughest
The loudest
places
and
to play.
toughest places to play, all that stuff. Obviously, EA Sports made their top list, and so then it just starts the debate, everything like that. So, kind of threw together our top 5. We'll kind of see how we compare. So,
I think we're gonna have some differing opinions.
yeah, I'll start because I feel like Mine's probably not good, but I'll try it.
Yours is probably the most neutral.
Yeah.
True. So number 5, I had Clemson Stadium. So Clemson, always intimidating. They have a really good record historically there. Thought it was good. Number 4, I had Tennessee. So Tennessee hasn't lost more than one game at home the last 4 seasons. So and obviously like Rocky Top, it's always crazy. So number 3, I actually put Oregon Stadium, Outson Zoo, just because there's only 54,000 people that get in there, but
loud.
like they've like broken decibel records and just historically like just dominated. Number 2, I had LSU, just because Death Valley, it's always crazy. And then,
The real Death Valley, by the way.
The real Death Valley. Yeah, I put
I was
both
hoping you
Death
were going to
Valleys in
say
there.
the other one a while ago. Actually, I was hoping you were going to call it Death Valley.
Yeah, and then number 1, I had Penn State, just because like I love their stadium. Like, dude, it's absolutely electric. Their whiteout night is like unlike anything I've ever seen. Like, people always talk about like Virginia Tech doesn't get enough love, and like I love the Inner Sandman, but they're so bad, dude. Like,
After that, after the entrance and stuff, it's
yeah, then you have to watch
once
that
the
team.
football starts.
yeah.
Yeah, then you have to watch that team play. It's like, God, it's horrible. So yes, that's my top 5. So
Got it.
Yeah,
That's solid.
we're pretty well aligned here,
Yeah.
Brian. We are pretty well aligned. My number 5 is Kyle Field.
um,
I wouldn't go crazy and put it any higher. I don't know. It's probably biased because I've been so many times. It's so deafening in that place.
it is
For a-
loud. I will say that.
For a team that year in and year out absolutely stinks, fans show up knowing dang good and well we're gonna go 8-5 and rip our hearts out, but they stay for the game. Like other places, people leave the third quarter. Maybe it's loud in the first. No one leaves Kyle Field in a big game. Yeah, if we're down 70-0, like we lost to Oklahoma that time, but like
I was there.
yeah, but
Were you
like
really?
I was.
yeah, but
Sam
like
Bradford.
Yeah.
but like in good games that like even we're down 2 touchdowns going in the 4th, like the fans stay. It's an awesome atmosphere. People have talked about it, the outside of A&M fans. Like, we're not just crazy being about Kyle Field is electric. I love going to Kyle Field, but it is not the top. Maybe it's not even 5. Some people might probably have it lower. You guys definitely have it lower, but
The main reason I have it lower is I agree 100%. It's definitely loud and deafening. But if you look over the past several seasons in their big time games, like look at last year.
I disagree.
I looked at this. In a different. I didn't really take records into account.
That's what I was gonna say.
I took just not fan experience, but like what fans do at the game, and fans that will their teams to wins that they had no business winning. Like, we had no business beating Bama a few years ago, but that place was absolutely insane.
True.
I was at the Clemson game. What was that? 2021, 2019. I don't know when the hell it was. Clemson game. Clemson was way better than us. We had no business being in that game. Yeah, we lost. It was within a touchdown until 3 minutes to go, and there was 104,000 people there. Nobody left. Nobody sat down for 4 quarters. It was the most insane atmosphere I've ever been to. And, again, no business being in that game. But when you have that many night game at Kyle Field, that many drunk people just loving their team to a fault, yeah, I love it. But, yeah, so 5's Kyle Field. 4 is shoot, now I gotta look. How did I do it? Did I do 4 as Oregon? Or did I put Oregon 3? No, I put Oregon 4. Yes. I put Oregon 4 for the same reason. It doesn't get a lot of love. A lot of people don't get to watch Oregon games because they're so late at night if you're not really a big fan. But and this is, obviously I haven't been to all these places. People talk about it, 54,000 people, but it sounds like 100,000 SEC school. Like, it's just a very, very tough place to play. 3, I put Beaver Stadium, Penn State, the whiteout, awesome atmosphere. 2, I have Neyland Stadium. They are absolutely ridiculous up there in Tennessee. Carry out the goalpost all the time, Rocky Top, all the stuff. They actually hold the record for the most decibels at 137. They set that in 2023 against Alabama. And I think they attempted to break it, but still, like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then number one, I got Tiger Stadium at LSU, specifically nighttime at Tiger Stadium.
For sure.
It
It's
is-
hard to beat. For
is-
sure.
I think that's pretty much across the board is respected as the number one. The nighttime at Tiger Stadium is respected.
That's a
across
huge
the board.
caveat.
Yeah.
It has to be
Mhm.
night.
Yeah.
For
I
sure.
think it's always for most of them.
Yeah.
Except
I
in
mean,
big,
like-
except in Big Ten.
I was gonna say
country.
Big Ten country. They
Oh,
always
and then
play
at
the
Big Noon.
noons.
Yeah.
And they get up for those. But typically, when LSU's playing an early game, and even 2:30 kicks over the years have been pretty electric at LSU too. It's those 11 o'clock
11
kicks that's
a.m.,
just
yeah.
tough. But typically, when it's 11 o'clock, the competition's not. You're playing
It's not
some
a
small
big-time
school, or you're
matchup.
playing like a Mississippi State or something like that. My list, I got 5. I got Autzen, Oregon. We're kind of in agreement with that. I don't think they get enough love. I think the way their stadium is built too, it holds sound in very well.
It's kind of the way the Seahawks do it, where it has like that curve
Exactly.
where it traps the noise.
Also learned that the O in their logo is in the shape of their track stadium, but there's a nod to Autzen Stadium in there too, the way they designed the O, which is pretty neat. I learned that literally the other day, which is pretty cool. But the Pacific Northwest with their sports, I mean, talked about the Seahawks, the Portland Timbers, and the MLS is another one of those places where people talk about being loud. I guess up there they really enjoy their
They get
sports and
hyped,
they get
yeah.
hyped for it. So 5, I had Autzen. I had Neyland at 4. Kind of the things y'all mentioned, the checker games, all that stuff when they wear all the matching orange and yellow or orange and white, which is pretty sick. I like that a lot.
yeah.
So I have Tennessee at 4. I actually have Aggie at 3. Kind of the things you mentioned, dude. Like, it is crazy and weird things happen there. Obviously, you talk about like the 7 overtime game against LSU. That crazy, like everybody was still in the stands. It was almost midnight. It was nuts, and again, the swaying, all that stuff, it just looks weird. And I'm sure as a play caller, you're seeing that going on in the stands, and you're just like, what is going on right now? So I think it's a difficult place to play. Again, with this list, kind of like y'all mentioned, it doesn't have to do with record, which is why y'all left off Bama, y'all left off Texas, y'all left off Ohio
Georgia.
State, Georgia. I feel like those places, obviously, they're not easy to play in.
But the team's so good.
The teams are very good, but at some point, Alabama used to be very tough to play. But then they started winning so much that it just became like
They're
a
lazy
normal
fans,
thing.
yeah,
You know,
correct.
like we're expecting to win, and it becomes corporate. Like at UT, like I feel like a lot of those season ticket holders are corporate people bringing a business partner, and they're not sitting out all day at 7 a.m. drinking to get up for a game.
For sure.
Granted, DKR can get up. That's not saying they can't get up. 2, I had Penn State, Beaver Stadium again. The whiteout, as y'all mentioned, is absolutely electric, and even in the big noon games, they get
Oh,
up.
yeah.
Like they drink, they party, they make it hard for opposing people to come in. And then Homer herself, I put LSU number 1. But the caveat being a night game, kind of as y'all mentioned. There's been on record, you see Scott Van Pelt, all those people talk about it. It's absolutely insane over there. I've been to multiple LSU Bama games at night. It's for the next day and a half, you just can't hear because your
You're
ears
still
are ringing.
Yeah.
Your ears are literally ringing. It's crazy, and the whole atmosphere before the walking up to the stadium, it's just everybody's super pumped and hyped. It's crazy. But that's my list.
Pretty wild.
Yeah, we're kind of very similar.
Yeah, I told Lucas on the way here. I was like, I thought we might go a little bit similar up top. Maybe the 6 through 10 would be where we'd get a little more. As you
Yeah.
get deeper down the list, you probably
Yeah.
get more. But yeah, I mean that's. I actually am surprised we had. We all had 4.
Yeah, we all
Yeah,
had LSU.
Tennessee, Oregon,
Penn State.
Penn State.
Yeah. And,
That's crazy, and we both had A&M.
yeah.
I thought I was gonna go off on a limb with Oregon.
No,
Yeah.
man. They've and,
I did too. I was like,
and another one up in that Northwest. Washington is also
Yeah.
regarded as a very, very tough
Yeah.
place to play. Again, they've been a little better recently, but over the course of time, you're not thinking Washington's some powerhouse football team.
Yeah.
they
But
said especially in those cold games, they said it's unbelievable.
I just don't understand why people were so outraged about the list then, because that was the thing, like with EA Sports coming out with their top places.
I think again it goes back to what is your criteria for this, and I think a lot of like putting Oklahoma. Who's really that nervous to go to Norman, Oklahoma?
Well, and that's like one thing I read. Like it had OU at 8 and it had Texas at 13, and it was like if you just look like based on your criteria, when you say you go based on record, like Texas at home is always way better at home, and so like you look at stuff like that, and so it just depends on what your criteria is really, and it's kind of like, like a lot of when we talk about the success of like Alabama and Georgia, like people were like, well, why aren't they 1 and 2? They're always winning. It's like, well, that's not the only criteria.
Well,
Are
it's
you
not the
winning games?
stadium. It's not a tough place to go play. You have to go play a tough ass team. Like they're just
Yeah.
like Ohio State. Yeah, right now you'd say Ohio State and Georgia are 1-2. It's not a crazy stadium to go play at. Their team's just that damn good that it's hard to go play there and beat them because they're that good.
I mean, look at when Texas beat Alabama a couple years ago, and College Game Day was there. College Game Day was embarrassing. Like they had to zoom in the cameras because the crowd was so small.
that's
like,
what Lucas's point
They just-
was. Like
yeah,
they
they don't get as
they're
hyped up as
they're
they
so
used to.
conditioned to winning. And I think
Yeah.
Georgia's in that deal right now, and yeah, I mean they could probably sneak back up the list, but I think right now if you're talking about the toughest places to play, and maybe that's why places like Kyle Field and stuff, because like we care so much and we want to win so bad, like you'll give anything.
I feel like College Station is very similar to Baton Rouge, and on a Saturday in the fall, what else are you gonna do?
The entire town shuts down.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the entire town
Baton
shuts
Rouge
down.
is the same way.
Nothing else matters except that football game that day.
Absolutely, and in Austin,
Yeah, it's like, these other
There's
places,
so
I
much to
don't
do,
think
yeah.
that's the case.
yeah, in Austin, there's 1 point however many million people around the Austin area. There's so much other things that they're going to do on a Saturday. In Baton Rouge, everything shuts down. It's all about the game.
We're watching football.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing else matters. And, like, your day is made or destroyed based off the outcome of the football game.
Yeah.
Like, the entire town is solemn or they're throwing a bigger party depending on the outcome.
Honorable mention, I was going to put Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, Florida, the Swamp.
That's my number 6.
Yeah, that was
That's
that,
my
that
number
was
6,
that was
dude.
mine. I was debating them or Oregon. That place is tough, especially when you talk about the humidity in that place. It gets pretty crazy. One of the things I also saw in here that kind of raised an eyebrow. BYU wasn't on this list, and again, obviously they're not drinking, partying, not loud, but the altitude itself,
Yeah.
the altitude, and
Automatically makes it tough.
they get up too. Like they actually do get pretty rowdy at BYU. It's one of the harder places. Them and Utah,
Yeah.
the Utes. Those are two very difficult places to play. Which Utah was at 20.
Really?
Yeah, but that was kind of interesting that I saw too.
I mean, it's real SEC heavy, but that's just because I'm SEC bias, I guess. But it's just different down south. We've said it before, but
I don't think it's SEC biased. I think
like Jordan Hare is hard to go play in.
oh, absolutely.
So is going to play at Williams-Brice. Like
For sure.
they're crazy.
I think it has more to do that the South cares about college football more than other places.
I
do.
agree.
It's just college football in the South. I feel like is just as big as the NFL
I would argue it's probably bigger.
in certain areas. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But whenever you go up into the Northeast, in the state of New York, who are they rooting for? They're big Notre Dame fans, supposedly, but
Well, that's why the Yankees are so big, though.
and the
then
Giants.
The Giants.
That's what I was gonna say. They're
yeah.
more NFL up in the and
Yeah.
same thing in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Right? Green Bay, Wisconsin, like all of them are going to be Packers fans and not. They don't care as much about the Badgers unless they went to school there.
I would say I would put I would
Yeah,
probably
th-
put Michigan up in the list though, as far as like tough stadiums to play.
I wouldn't. Yeah, maybe they're probably top 10.
Yeah, I'd put them top 10.
Probably top 10.
Yeah.
But would you put Ohio State in your top 10?
The shoe, I'd put Ohio State over Michigan.
I'd put them pretty close. I think
Yeah.
they'd both be in consideration for top 10. I think for sure.
But now you're having to leave out
But then
a
also-
Georgia or Alabama. Would you leave them
Right,
out?
but then also like I saw an argument too. It's like somebody said I wouldn't put Ohio State in top 10 because look at how many Tennessee fans showed up to the playoff game.
Agreed. I saw the same argument,
So it's kind of like okay,
and that
what
was a
do you do?
playoff game.
Yeah.
Exactly why Neyland's number 2, man.
Yeah.
Yes.
For me, at least. These guys are nuts.
But Georgia too. You talk about how difficult it is to play. Over the past 5 years, I swear, every time Missouri goes into Georgia, Missouri either has the lead at the end of the game and Georgia sneaks out a win, or it's a field goal game.
Right.
I don't have Georgia in my top 10.
Me either. I don't think it's that difficult to play at
No.
Georgia.
Like I said, like Will said earlier, it's more the product on the field than it is the fans.
Absolutely. Is it a better team than most teams you're going to play all year? Yeah.
I think Georgia's probably the best team that nobody really fears. Like, I really don't think teams necessarily fear Georgia. Georgia just happens to win, but like
I wouldn't fear LSU.
they're in a lot. I mean, like for a team that's won national titles and has been at the top of the sport for the last 5 or 6 years,
Yeah.
like they play in the most close games out of any of those top teams. I don't
Agreed.
think they're as feared.
Like the
And I think-
Kentucky game last year.
Like I still think Bama's probably going into last year. Bama was still more feared than Georgia, even though Georgia had more recent success.
Not for me.
Going
I was,
going into last year.
I
Now
was-
after this, no.
I was down on Bama bad last year.
Yeah, and obviously everybody is now, but
Yeah.
I still think they had the respect was there. They were still a little. The name carried more than what Georgia did.
The name they lost carried more than.
They're still the
That's
highest ranked
true.
team in college football 26.
Who?
Did you see that?
Alabama.
That
No.
was yes, dude.
Oh.
The list is egregious. It's bad.
No way.
And like the separation in ratings is not that high.
Yeah.
I think aren't they number 1 at 89 overall?
89. Yeah.
A&M's 8 with 88 overall. A&M's 8 in this damn game. I ought to buy it just for that. I don't even play it, but we're ranked
Wow.
like 24 or 25 in the preseason poll, but we're 8 on college football.
That's crazy. I didn't know Bama was one in the rankings.
Bama's 1. This is team rankings based off of
They're gonna have a good defense, but who's playing quarterback for that team?
nobody knows yet.
Exactly.
That's the scary part.
At least Gunnar Stockton, you know who's playing at Georgia.
So here's the top 25. Alabama's 89, and then Texas, Ohio State, Penn State, Notre Dame, Georgia, Clemson, and A&M are all 88. Then Oregon, LSU, Miami, Florida, and Tech are 86.
Georgia Tech?
No, Texas
Texas
Tech.
Tech.
Texas Tech's 13th, correct?
13.
They're the same ranking as LSU.
Yes.
Yes. And then Arizona State, Michigan, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Indiana are 85. SMU, Tennessee, Missouri, Auburn, Duke are 84, and then South Carolina and Illinois are 82.
South Carolina's ranking is horrible.
South Carolina should be mad.
South Carolina has a legitimate chance to make some noise in the SEC. this
They
year.
Absolutely.
gave Alabama 96 for defense.
That's why they're so high.
Yeah.
Which they are going to be pretty good defensively, but
The highest ranked
Kellen
big
DeBoer, the defensive genius.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, this ranking is crap. Texas Tech being the highest ranked Big 12 school. Nuts.
Miami and LSU being equal.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Ward had to have an unbelievable season for them to not even make the ACC championship game.
They gave Tech a 92 on defense.
After spending all their money on an offensive player.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
That list was worse than their top 10 hardest places to play.
I agree.
By far.
Yeah.
By far.
Bad list. Bad ratings. Give it 3 weeks in and all that will be.
Well, kind of like what you said.
No.
The guy from LSU that got bronze in the 100-meter dash
Yeah.
national championship is the 7th fastest player in the game.
He literally won. He was third in the NCAA national championships. He's a wideout for LSU. Jelani Watkins. He's the seventh
In the
fastest
100?
in the 100-meter dash.
I missed that.
7th fastest player in the game.
That makes total sense, huh? Like you can't get. I mean, you could get faster than that. You could win gold.
You can't get faster probably on a football field.
No,
Like, there's no other football player running that fast.
no.
Just have to have a race.
He'd probably win.
The final debate that I want us to have before we end the show, I don't know if y'all seen the viral debate going on right now. So it's spiraled since July 4th. So the debate is Joey Chestnut versus Usain Bolt in a 100-meter dash and eating a hot dog. So you eat a hot dog first, and then you have to run a 100-meter dash. Who wins the race?
One hot dog?
Eat one hot dog.
As
Oh,
fast
it's
as you can.
Usain Bolt. That don't matter.
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
You eat one hot dog and then you run?
How fast do you think you can eat a hot dog?
Fast, dude. You talking just a regular, normal
And
Frank?
give me about.
You have to chew and show that it's completed.
Yes, Usain Bolt.
Give me a guesstimate on how many seconds you think you could eat a hot dog.
10.
5.5.
You could eat a hot dog in 5.5 seconds.
I'll do it next Sunday on the podcast. I'll eat a hot dog in 5.5 seconds.
I'm cooking hot dogs next week.
Dude,
I'm gonna take the over on
I
that.
don't think it's as hard as y'all think.
I'm taking
I think it's harder than 5.5 seconds.
I'm taking the over on that.
I'm training all week for this.
I'm saying I think I could probably do it maybe in 10.
So if you think about it, Joey Chestnut can probably eat, because I think Joey Chestnut 100% wins the race.
I do too.
Like, I think Joey Chestnut can eat that hot dog in about 2 seconds. He takes off running, and then
You
say
can run a 15-second 100 and win.
Yeah, now that I think. So Joey Chestnut averaged for the first half of the deal 8 hot dogs a minute. So that's like 12 seconds. Let's set the over under at 7. I think I can do it in 7.
7 seconds.
One hot dog, I think I can do it in 7.
Still-
5.5
I
is a
still
little
don't-
crazy.
You don't get water.
That's fine.
You don't get the
That's
Dunkin'
fine.
look.
That's fine. I'll do it. Do it.
7 seconds.
Oh,
I think I can do it.
Oh my gosh, dude.
if you do that, I will be impressed.
I think I can do
I will personally box and ship Texas A&M a trophy to put in their cabinet for that.
Hang the banner.
it. Yeah. Yeah, y'all are nuts, dude. Usain Bolt wins that race
I disagree.
12 times out of 10.
Say-
What do you think Joey Chestnut's 100 time is?
Even if it's 20 seconds, he still wins.
So let's say
It's one hot dog.
he eats a hot
Yeah.
dog. Say he eats a hot dog in 2 seconds. Let's give him 4. He eats it in 4 seconds, and he runs a 12-second 100.
Not a
He's
chance.
He's not running a 12-second 100.
Okay, so let's say he runs
15
a 15-second 100. So that's 19 seconds. So that means that
You don't think you can run? I'd give him a 20-second 100.
I'll go with that.
I'll give him a
Okay.
20-second 100
so that's
at 22 seconds
22 seconds. So that means Usain Bolt would have to eat the hot dog,
in 12 seconds.
and if he ran his world pace,
Which
could
he's
eat
not
it-
gonna
He
do.
could eat it in 13 seconds.
I still think he wins.
Put this on a Netflix
Dude,
special.
I still
for
think he
real.
wins.
I would pay.
man.
I would
Dude,
pay
Barstool
pay-per-view.
Sports needs to pick this up and freaking.
At Face Value needs to pick this up. We need to get some contacts of Usain Bolt's representative.
If you would have told me anything over one hot dog, I know you've never tried. It's not that hard to eat one normal hot dog. We're not talking about a foot long.
No,
We're talking
but-
about just a little fucking hot dog.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like you have to completely chew it. I don't think
I
you realize
understand.
how hard it is to chew that quickly.
You guys have never seen me eat.
I eat pretty fast, man.
I don't think you can do it under 12 seconds.
I'm crushing 12.
All right.
Crushing 12.
I can't wait, dude.
Next week.
Crushing 12.
You heard it first.
Yeah.
Also, so next week we'll be at 40 days until week 0. So probably a good time to start kicking off some of the previews.
Start breaking down conferences.
We're getting to like the 6-ish week mark.
Yeah, should be perfect.
Yeah, maybe start breaking down
So
some
if we
of the
do the
group of
4,
five
we'll do the power 4, and then we'll do the group of 6.
or group of 6.
And then-
It's not group of 6 yet. But
Well, true. Next year will be the group of 6.
yeah, yeah.
We'll do the power 4, group of 5,
And then playoffs.
and then our top 12 teams.
I'm down.
It's coming up. It's going up quick. So
And at the end, we'll see how fast Will can eat a hot dog.
I'm telling y'all, get ready.
just go home this week and just like, I'll let you do your own test run, and you can back out before next Sunday.
Okay. I'm telling you guys, I'm not. Like, let's just sit here.
7 seconds is quick.
That was a long time.
7
that was
seconds is quick.
7 seconds was a long time. In another 2 seconds, Usain Bolt ran 100 meters.
Yeah, but he's not running his world record pace after
No,
smashing a
I was just
glizzy.
saying, like in general, like 7 seconds is longer than you think.
We'll see.
Yeah, we will see.
12 is cake. I might be putting a little bit of pressure on myself at 7. 12 is cake.
I'll even let it cool down for you. Oh man,
It's gonna be fun.
that's all I got.
That's it.
All right, we appreciate everybody watching. See you like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your family. Follow us on TikTok. If we get enough followers, we can officially go live. Our plan right now is to go live the opening game of college football season, the opening Saturday. So follow us on TikTok so that we can go live. So it's the last criteria we need. So
We're gonna be live before then.
we'll be live before then.
We need 17 of you guys to just hit that follow button.
Hit that follow button. Tell your friends. Tell everybody to follow us. If they don't watch TikTok, Will's getting an account just so he can follow us, so we can hit that 17. So,
That's right.
all right, we appreciate it, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.